Hello and welcome to another Rightly Witterings with me, Michael Jacks, the tea drinking author with no tea or coffee. Very sad. But this week I am finishing off a book. There's a lot of work to be done on it still. I'm going to be working on that through, today is Wednesday, I'll be working through it today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, I have to be preparing a load of marketing materials for the following 2 weeks. Tuesday, I've got to take a day off because I'm meeting a New Zealand nephew and his family, which is going to be lovely, but it's a day out of my week that I really can't afford because Wednesday and Thursday, I've got to get the memorial lecture ready for the Books and Boots, or Boots and Books Literary Festival up in Yorkshire, and that's a memorial lecture for Peter Robinson, lovely bloke, sadly missed. And then Sunday I'm off for the next Smithsonian tour, Mystery Lovers England. There is a road sweeper going past just now. How exciting. So I've got very little spare time right now. And I've started having to think about all the things I've got to do, which makes sense. So my wife, being very determined to be sensible, has produced a Gantt chart with all the work that I've got on, which is more than a little bit alarming. But I thought one thing I would do is get myself ready to go. So the two main things I thought I'd better have are my notebooks. Now, in the past, I've taken these. This is an Atoma. There we go, Atoma, made in Belgium, leather covered wallet, which is superb, frankly, because it holds loads and loads of information. You can fold the sheets right round so you can have a look at all sorts of things there. And what's really handy is that all the sheets of paper can be ripped out and repositioned wherever you want. And of course, you'll have noticed that there's A5 bits as well as this A4, because A5 fits in it. And that means that I can retain this while I'm out and about or giving talks, and then during the day I just carry my A5 version, which is very convenient and contains all sorts of paper, and I can plan my days, think about things I'm doing, and that keeps me going. But when I'm sitting on a coach, I don't really want to be carrying or fiddling around with either of them and whipping them out of my backpack. So what I always have is I always wear cargo trousers, and I always have a small notebook inside it. This, of course, is perfect because it's the Paper Republic. I was talking about it last week. It has wonderful paper. I love this paper. But it also, in this one, has a sketchbook. Now, in the past, I have always carried a separate watercolour sketchbook. But this, with the two books, the brown edge is watercolour sketchbook and the white is the lined paper. Those two together mean I've got a perfect little package. It fits in my pocket. The two fit perfectly inside there, and that is really convenient. Now, people have asked, well, what do you normally paint? And it can be any number of things. I mean, for example, here's a little Dartmoor view. Here's a view of a Dartmoor village. These are from an old sketchbook that I used to carry with me all the time. And I would always have it with me, and I would do little sketches of village scenes perhaps, or yeah, village houses, or just a path through some woods. It's an important thing, I think, to just play with your paints when you get a chance, when you're at the beach or anywhere, because it keeps your eye in, and it's just an interesting way of reminding yourself of a particular day, whatever you were doing. And I must admit, this is quite a handy notebook because each of these pages you can tear off. They're all perforated. That was me dancing in a Morris dance. Gosh, that's a long time ago now. And then what else? Oh yeah, just a picture of flowers my wife had out in the back garden. So there's nothing dramatically clever in any of these. They're just little sketches that appealed to me at the time. But the main thing for me is always to have a sketchbook with you so that when the inspiration strikes, you can do it. And I always carry with me this, which is the most fabulous paint palette. This is the portable palette. But as you can tell, I've had it in my pocket so much that all the writing has pretty much come off. But all you do is you pop the lid up, and inside you've got a little box. There's a tab at the front which you lift up, and the box comes out. And then you slide it on there, you slide it on there, and you end up with a water bottle, mixing trays, and more mixing trays, and all your paints inside. So I always have this and a water brush and my little sketchbook with me wherever I go. Do I use it every day? I'm afraid not. But I do tend to use it as often as I possibly can, because it's just a way of, as I say, keeping a bit of practice in, but it also means a little bit of relaxation when I'm out and about. So that, I think, is going to be pretty much my essential carry stuff while I'm away with Smithsonian, and even when I'm up in Richmond for the Books and Boots or Boots and Books talk. Whichever it's called is going to be fun, because it will mean that I've finished this book and I can go and just relax for a few days. But those, I think, are the 3 notebooks for the weeks coming up. Now, I've got to also say, if you enjoy this video, obviously hit the like and subscribe and everything else. But the greatest news is that earlier this week I discovered that Fields of Glory, the first in my Vintain series, actually became a bestseller. It was I forget where it was, but it's still number 2 in the historical fiction section on Amazon, which is wonderful news. It's a jolly good book, it has to be said. And it's the first in now 4, because Ashes of Rebellion, the 4th in the series, comes out on the 19th of September, so you can pre-order your copy now. But if you haven't read the other 2, Blood on the Sand and Blood of the Innocents, well, why not go along and get a copy, because they look very good on the bookshelf or on a Kindle. That's the wrong way round. Should have been Blood of the Sand, then Blood of the Innocents. And then we also have Ashes of Rebellion. So 3 excellent books which would grace any bookshelves, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Anyway, hope that was interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. Sorry it's a little bit sketchy and a little bit rapid, but this week, as you can tell, I am madly busy. This book I am writing now is the 4th book I'll have finished this year. And I'm feeling as though it's the 4th book I've written this year. Hope that was interesting. Take care of yourselves and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.